Welcome back to this Blender tutorial, making the Lambda class Imperial Shuttle from Star Wars. Change to face select, then shift select all these faces. Press I to inset and drag to move them backwards. Press Shift A, and let's add a cylinder, vertices to 32, and rotate 90 degrees on the X. Drag down the radius and depth. Change to front view. Move the cylinder down on the Z axis. Press G to grab and then move it into position on the X axis. Press G to grab and Z for the axis to move it up. Then press S to scale. Press S and Y for the axis to scale. And press G and Y to move them backward. Press I to inset. Press I to inset again. Press I to inset again. Add one more. Press I to inset a bigger amount. Then shift select all these faces. Press E to extrude and drag it out. Press E to extrude again and drag it out. Change to front view. Change transform pivot point to medium point. Then press S to scale. Press E to extrude again and drag it out. Then press S to scale. Press E to extrude again and drag it out. Then press S to scale. Press E to extrude again and drag it out. Then press S to scale. Press E to extrude again and drag it out. Let's start by changing to vertex mode. Box, select these vertices. Press S and Z to scale. On the keypad, type 0. Move them up. Box, select these vertices. Press S and Z to scale. On the keypad, type 0. Move them down. Box, select these vertices. Press S and X to scale. On the keypad, type 0. Then move it into position on the X axis. Box, select these vertices. Press S and X to scale. On the keypad, type 0. Then move it into position on the X axis. I select the front face. Then press S to scale. Select these vertices. Then press S to scale. Select these vertices. Then press S to scale. select the front face and press E to extrude it and drag it out. Select these faces, right-click for loop tools and select flatten. Now press I to inset and drag it in a little. Now press press E to extrude again and drag it out. Change to face select, then shift select all these faces, press E to extrude again and drag it out. I select the front face and inset it. Press K for the knife tool. Click two vertices. Press Enter to add a cut. Then shift select all these faces, press E to extrude again and drag it out. Now extrude the selected faces forward. I change to edge mode, select this edge to move them backwards. For the gun barrels, add a cylinder, vertices to 32, and rotate 90 degrees on the X. Then press S to scale, then move it into position. I select the front face and
Move it forwards.
I select the front face and inset it.
Move it forwards.
Press E to extrude again. Press E to extrude again. Then press S to scale. Press E to extrude again. Then press S to scale. Inset it to move them backwards. Then press S to scale. Next, I press L to select the mesh, then press Shift D to duplicate, then press G to grab and
move it on the Z-axis.
Then press Shift D to duplicate. Move the gun barrels on the X-axis. Next, I press L to select the mesh. Then press Shift D to duplicate. Move the gun on the X-axis. Press Shift A to add a sphere. And rotate 90 degrees on the X. Drag down the radius. Then press G and Y to move them backwards. And box select these faces. Delete faces. And box select these faces. Then move it into position on the x-axis. Then shift select all these faces, delete these faces. Select the top and bottom edge and press F to make a face. Alt, select the gap at each end and press F again to make a face. I press Ctrl R to add 2 edge loops to each outer ring. Press Ctrl R again to add 63 edge loops to the length of the mesh. I press K to enable the knife tool, then select 2 vertices and press Enter to add a cut. Repeat this many times. Now for the thrusters, add a cylinder and rotate the x-axis 90 degrees. Press / to isolate the mesh, then select the sphere and press H to hide it. In vertex mode, choose half the vertices and press G and X to grab and move on the x-axis. Press / and Alt H to return to normal view the select the thruster with L. Press G and X and move it into position. Also position on the Y and Z axis. Press Shift D to duplicate the thruster, then press X and move it into position. The back of the thruster is too far back, so I isolate the mesh again with / In top view, I move the back faces on the y-axis, then return to normal view. In the Modifier tab, I add a boolean to the sphere and select the thruster as the object. This is the result. Later, I add an emission blue shader to the back face of the thruster.
Press Tab to enter edit mode.
I change to edge mode. Select this edge. Now select this edge. Change transform pivot point to median point. Press S and X to scale it inwards. Change to face select, then shift select all these faces. Right click for loop tools and select flatten.
Select the two top outer edges and press Ctrl B to bevel and roll the mouse wheel to add 5 extra cuts.
Change to face select, box select these faces. Now press I to inset and drag it in a little. Press E to extrude
Down the top face.
Then shift select all these faces.
Press Shift D to duplicate.
Then press G and Y to move them backwards.
Extrude it to make the first vent. Select the vent, then press Shift D to duplicate the vent. Move it on the Y-axis. Now repeat this process with Shift R.
This is the finished vent. Select the vents with L. Then assign a simple black material to them. Now we are going to make the 3 fins. Press Shift A
To add a cube. Move it into place.
scale it down to fit. Scale it down to fit. And using X-ray to see the image, press S and Y to scale the Y-axis.
Move it into place.
Press S and Y to scale the Y-axis. Change to front view. Select the top face and move it down. Then move it into position on the X-axis. Press S and X to scale. Press Ctrl R to add edge loop.
Select the 2 top outer edges and press
S and X to scale. Change to side view. Now duplicate the mesh.
Move it on the Y-axis. Now repeat this process with Shift R.
Press Shift A
To add a cube. Move it into place.
scale it down to fit. Press S and Y for the axis to scale.
Move it into place.
Press G and X to move the cube over to the top wing. Select this and press G and X. Select the 2 outer faces and press Alt-E to extrude by normals. Extrude a small amount, then press S to scale. Scale to form a bevel. Enable X-ray and press Shift D to duplicate. Press Y to move the cube forward. Then Shift and Y to create the last bevel cube. Zoom out, then press Shift D to duplicate the bevel cube again. Press G and Z to move it up. Press R to rotate, and on the keypad press 9, 0. I press Y to move it into position, then scale it to match the image. Now press Ctrl R to add a loop cut, then slide it over. Select a new face on both sides and press Alt E. Extrude by normals, then S to scale to form a bevel. Hover over the cube and press L. Press Shift D to duplicate, then press Y. Move it up into position. Next, we will make the wing hinges support. Press Shift A
To add a cube.
Scale it down.
Move it into place.
Press S and Y for the axis to scale. Select the bottom edge and move it on the x-axis. Select the opposite edge and move it on the x-axis. I select the top edge and move it on the x-axis. Press Ctrl R and add 7 edge loops. Select all the outer faces and press I twice. To inset individual faces, press Alt E to extrude by normals. In side view, press Shift D and Y. Move across to line up with the image. Repeat this process again for the last hinge. Next, for the back of the hull, press Tab to enter Edit Mode and Face Select. Box select and Shift select these faces. Press I to inset by group, then drag in a small amount. Now press E to extrude and drag it in. Press S and Y to scale, then on the keypad enter 0. Select one of the top wing fins. Press Shift D to duplicate it. Move it into position. Select the bottom face, press E to extrude it down, then press S and X for the axis to scale the bottom. Select the top face, press Y to move it down, scale it in and move it down to form an octagon shape. Press L to select the mesh and move it into the center. Select the front faces and press I to inset, then E to extrude. Press L while hovering over the bevel cube and press Shift D. Move the duplicated mesh to the back of the ship. Place it beside the octagon, then press S to scale. Next, press Shift D to duplicate and place it on the other side. Press Shift A to add an UV sphere. Press G to grab and Y to move it back. Press G and Z to move it up. Select half the sphere in X-ray mode and delete. Press G and X to move it into the center. Press S to scale it down. Move it into position. Box, select these faces. Press I to inset, then Alt E to extrude by normals. I press L to select the gun barrels at the front of the ship. Press Shift D to duplicate them. Move them into position at the rear of the ship. Scale them on the Y by -1 to flip them. Move them into position. Press G to grab and Y to move it back. Select the top wing, then press Ctrl D to duplicate. Rotate Z-axis by 90 and X-axis by 90. Select the top face and move it down with G and Z. Then select the bottom faces and move them up. Press G twice to slide the edge loop. Select the corner edge and move it up with G and Z. Select the fin with L, then move it over with G and X. Press G and Y to move it back under the wing. Change the side view and adjust the mesh to the shape of the blueprint in X-ray mode. In back view, duplicate the fin and move over on the X-axis. Based on your images, add your own detail. I added a Bezier curve to form a pipe and a beveled cylinder. In the next video, we will look at the making of the cockpit. Animating the wings and then the landing gear. That's the end of this tutorial. Remember to like and subscribe for more tutorials. Thanks for watching.